Welcome to Circle of Hearts Radio. Journey with Grandmother Allayah as she enters her magical world of relics, sacred sites, and ancient crystal skulls. Meet with exciting trailblazer authors and individuals shifting the consciousness of humanity. Send her your questions to be answered on air on her monthly segment, Ask the Oracle. And now your host, Grandmother Allayah, in the sanctuary on the airwaves on OMTimes Radio.
Welcome to Circle of Hearts on OMTimes Radio. I'm Allayah, the host for this hour. Welcome to our sanctuary. And what's funny already, the internet is going a little bit crazy on us, so happened to close off. We'll be back. So I figure I'll give everybody a fair warning on this one. Now, as everybody's vibrations are raising higher and people are starting to question what is good for them, what is high vibrational, the making choices as far as medicine goes or what they ingest or health foods, etc. The subject of plant medicine is being revitalized, especially essential oils. There's quite a revolution coming up about that and bringing people more and more to awareness. Today I'd like to, provide some background information from my good friend, Reverend Marilee Ann Snyder-Nieciak. And she has a great deal of background in this subject. Which she is willing to come and share so that you can make your own choices for your own health and your own development. Hi, Marilee.
Hi, how are you? And thank you so much for inviting me to be on your show. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, that's great. I was just, figured I'd give everybody a fair warning about the, internet servers today, to hang on with us because there's a lot of great information you'll be sharing with us. Now, from your perspective and from your knowledge, which I know you have many, many years, behind you on this, so what would you say essential oils are for people that are not familiar with it?
They're the first medicine, and quite literally, they were used in ancient Egypt 4,000 years ago, shamans of South America just as long, and what essential oils, and it was actually the slaves in Egypt that watched the pharaohs and the priests and the people that had the oils that used them daily to anoint themselves, and Cleopatra, and her beautiful skin. It's all because of essential oils. But what the slaves did was take the plant matter and they dried it. Mm-hmm. And in the drying, they took away the life force. So what is an essential oil? In a few words, it's the blood of a plant. It's the life force, living energy of the plant. Just like we have blood circulating throughout our body, and it goes to different organs and it heals us because it brings nutrients and oxygen and minerals and carries away toxins and what's no longer needed in the cells. So that's what essential oils do for plants. And essential oils are the subtle, aromatic, and volatile liquids extracted from the flowers, seeds, leaves, stems, bark, and roots of herbs, bushes, shrubs, trees, through a distillation process that is low pressure, low heat to maintain the integrity of the oil.
No, go ahead. I was just wondering, while listening to that, did you ever wonder who first discovered this? Whether there was it was passing through my mind, whether originally it was like either in the Amazon or a caveman or something, he decided to eat some leaves or grind, rub some stuff on, so.
Well, shamanism is the cutting edge of 40,000-year-old technology where in a shamanic journey to the beat of a framed drum, you actually can travel to a plant and ask how to use it and what is it going to heal. So plant medicine in and of itself, plant spirit medicine has been around for 40,000 years.
And another thing, we constantly hear now, I mean, it's bringing just people back to awareness again that everything that we need for our survival and for our health is actually on the planet. It's all really natural or energetic.
Right.
The artificial was not really meant for us to ingest. It was, I think that's why people are going back to this.
Right, and that's why, there's 188 references to oils in the Bible, in the Old Testament too. What Moses put on the door frames when they were coming around to take the first son was actually a recipe that's in the Bible. And the oils during that time were more precious than gold. There are ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics and Chinese manuscripts that priests and physicians were using essential oil thousands of years before Christ came to heal the sick. So, and it's the oldest form of medicine and cosmetic known to man. They were there in antiquity. And when they opened King Tut's tomb,
right,
they found alabaster jars of therapeutic grade essential oils that were still viable, that had been in the tomb for 3,500 years.
Yeah, I was, when I was reading up on oils, just a little bit of, the history of it, the background of myself, it said in China and India, I don't have timelines because in China and India, the Chinese were making use of herbs and aromatic plants, and this was taken up as an integral part of Indian or Ayurvedic medicine, medicinal system. Then you had the Greeks. It says Hippocrates in 460 to 377 BC was a firm believer of using patient holistically and plant medicine. Then you went to the Romans and the Arabs and the Dark Ages, which that they said that during the Dark Ages, the oils actually saved a lot of people from the plague.
Right, and it was, the grave robbers were perfumers who knew the oils.
Right.
And the King of England came and said, "I'll let you keep stealing. Just tell me how to save my family." So the formula is actually in the National Library in England.
Yeah.
And
that's something.
And what
a lot of people actually, I don't think they really realize it. They think that this resurgence of information on essential oils in all their forms is something new, but it's really goes way back there. It's just coming up to, consciousness again.
Right. This, I think, is really interesting. In 1817, the Ebers Papyrus was discovered, which is an 870-foot long and was referred to as a medicinal scroll. It dates back to 1500 BC and mentions over 800 different formulas of herbal prescriptions and remedies. Other scrolls indicated that the Egyptians had a very high success rate in treating 81 different diseases. Many mixtures contained myrrh and honey. Myrrh is recognized today for its agility to help with infections of the skin, throat, and to regenerate skin tissue. Myrrh was also used for embalming because of its effectiveness in preventing bacterial growth, and it was also used in child delivery on the umbilical cord before they cut it to prevent any infections going from the mother to the child.
I think the Egyptians were the only ones that, I'm not sure about this, they're only ones that really provided written records of, the use of the different oils and stuff. I really don't see anything with the Greeks or any other culture. Like you said, that seemed to be more of a shamanic bent.
The Romans took over from the Egyptians in the use, but they used the Egyptian formulas. The Greeks and the Romans didn't need to write because the Egyptians had already done it for them.
Yeah, they just followed through, they took a good thing and kept on going with it, right?
Right. But the Arabian people began to study the chemistry of aromatic oils that, they take the resin of frankincense and myrrh, and they started really working with it, and then they started working with it to extract the oils from the resin, and then they tried it with rose oil, and so I think it's just really fascinating at how old, and as you know, my tagline is ancient wisdom for now, and everything I do is really about the vibrations of ancient wisdom. Some of the oils that are referred to in the Bible are precious oils. They're frankincense and myrrh, galbanum, rosemary, hyssop, cassia, cinnamon. Now, cassia is the inner bark. It's a much softer cinnamon than cinnamon, which is the outer bark.
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids. Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Radio Namaste leads you down the yellow brick road into portals of consciousness with the blue-collar goddess as your host. Interviews with humans who could be famous or just popular, and answers to everything are on the agenda. Tune into OMTimes Radio and drop in on Thursdays at 3 Eastern. It's a different brand of enlightenment.
Imagine receiving healing, vibration-raising energy as you listen to the radio. Energy that flows effortlessly to you. Imagine exploring all things metaphysical, sharing in an ongoing adventure. Join me, Karen Smoot, along with my co-hosts Lisa Victorson and Wendy Weber for Immersion into Source every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Om Radio.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Oh, we're back with Reverend Marilee. And Marilee, do you want to continue what you're talking about, the cassia and the bark? That's interesting. I don't think people sometimes consider oils coming from trees and bark and etc.
Oh, and some of the most wonderful oils come from trees, and frankincense and myrrh actually they bubble up on top of the bark of the frankincense trees and the myrrh trees, and it's the resin, like, the sap of an evergreen tree.
Right.
Okay, they gather that sap in big woven baskets and take it to be distilled into oil because it's gotten hard in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
The sun, and so frankincense and myrrh are two. They come from trees. Cassia and cinnamon, and all plants have an outer coating. But what I think is really interesting is that the three wise men brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh to the Christ child, and yet these oils existed long before that. And
I was going to say that brings me back to our curiosity. And I imagine other people think that too. How did somebody look at a tree and see, maybe like you said, the resin, that's coming from it, which actually is, like you said, it's the blood of the tree, sort of. It's its life force. And how did they discover? I mean, this is
I think through prayer and shamanic journeys, and I believe they didn't have all the digital electronic distractions that we have today,
mm-hmm.
and I think that just sitting with a tree or not knowing what to do, and they took a piece of frankincense and started chewing it and went, "Oh wow, I feel a lot better." Do you know that in Oman, where the sacred frankincense that was given to the Christ child comes from, they do not have any degenerative diseases that come from inflammation. They do not have cancer. They do not have heart disease. They do not have diabetes. They don't have dementia.
Right. So it's, again, really the message is return to the natural ways, return to what the earth provides us for our survival, because we're made of the elements of the earth, our physical body. And in order to help heal us,
right, and even though
we should return to what the earth provides. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, because these oils, all right, say you just burn the resin of frankincense and myrrh, like at Christmas time or, sacred days. What you're doing when you're smelling that aroma is that you're stimulating your immune system. And the aroma and the chemical constituents and properties are literally coming up your nose and crossing the blood-brain barrier, going directly into your hypothalamus and your amygdala where trauma is stored. And scent that crosses the blood-brain barrier is the only thing that can truly heal trauma. And balsam fir, it's really interesting. Each continent has a balsam fir. And in the Middle East, it's the balm of Gilead, which is finally being grown again above the Dead Sea for the first time in 1,500 years. Once when they invaded, it was actually the Emperor Titus, 79 to 81 AD, after conquering Gilead, displayed branches from Gilead's balsam trees in his triumphal march through Rome.
Yeah.
And Petra in the Indiana Jones movies, that city that's built into that huge mountain,
right,
in Jordan,
right,
that was the treasury for the frankincense trail. And it was distributed elsewhere from that point.
Yeah, Uh,
And
no, go ahead. I was just formulating an idea for. I know toward the latter part we're going to talk about the scripture, the oils of the scriptures. But it makes you wonder why these oils, when the Magi, which were men of prophecy and vision and astrologers, etc., how why they felt that they were far more precious than gold. But like I'll leave that one toward when we get to the oils of the scriptures. I'm sorry. I'm just listening to.
that's okay, but that's an interesting question. Why did the oils go out of favor? And I believe it was the Middle Ages,
Oh, really?
because they were used in Rome, and Rome was very powerful for a very long time. But in the Middle Ages, everything seemed to go the heck in a handbag, as they say. And also when there was the separation between the church and the energies of the soul and science, I think that a lot of the information was lost because the oils work on the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, and the spiritual body. So how do you split that up? So it became the purview of the church for the incense and cleaning sacred spaces and cathedrals and churches, and because it was always used in temples, whether they were pagan or whatever. So now that's my own thought pattern.
Yeah, no, I was going to say it makes a lot of sense because, I'm just thinking of things as you're talking. And it just seems like when you say like the Middle Ages and the Dark Ages and stuff, it seems like when people lost their spiritual vision, that's when they looked for different means. They always kept, anything with life force or, had to do with shamanic or some of the churches or paths, like you said, pagans, etc., is people still held on to their spirituality and their connection to the earth. When they lost that in the Dark Ages or times of the plague, when there was such devastation, and they lost.
Or the Inquisition. Do not forget the Inquisition that lasted for 400 years.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. Yeah,
and the people that knew plant medicine were literally desecrated and killed. So that knowledge was actually destroyed. That wisdom that was passed down orally.
Right.
And the books were burned.
And it just seems like as you were mentioning, anything that had to do with this knowledge, they were so afraid of it because they couldn't control people anymore, it seemed. So what they did was made people afraid and destroyed it. But people, whether they're earth religions or something, they managed to keep it. And it's, like they were like storytellers. The medicine people kept on sharing this knowledge. So there's such a close link, again, listening to you, between the shamanic and the oils. They go very much hand in hand.
And it wasn't until 1920 that the oils were rediscovered. A French chemist, a cosmetic chemist, René Maurice Gattefossé, who's a PhD, was working in his lab and had a fire, and his hand and his arm and forearm caught on fire, and he just plunged his arm into a vat of lavender oil, thinking it was water. And to his surprised lavender oil, the burn heals completely with no trace of scarring.
Well, that's a hard
Pretty amazing.
point. We just
But what's really important here is there's also an oil called lavandin, and it's in many oils in the United States that are labeled lavender, and lavandin has a very high camphor content, which will actually exacerbate the burn, and it will not heal it, and it will cause scarring. So that's one of the reasons we really want to use therapeutic grade oils and oils that meet the AFNOR and international standards.
I was going to say, I know we're going to be in a few minutes heading toward break, but that would be a very good subject to address about. I don't think people realize that difference between the two names. So bringing up the idea of, as you were saying, the therapeutic standards. Well,
what constitutes a true essential oil? And there are international standards, and they don't exist in the United States with most essential oil companies, but it's the European.
Are you still there?
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids. Simone Milasas would like you to know that business can be fun, which is why she wrote the book, Joy of Business. What if you could have the joy of business rather than the stress and struggle? Most of the time, the only thing stopping you from a thriving business is you. In the Joy of Business book, Simone gives you access consciousness tools and pragmatic ways to get out of your own way and to create the business, life, and living you know is possible and beyond what this reality says is achievable. Business is joy. It's creation. It's generative. It can be the adventure of living. You can purchase your copy of the book through Amazon or Joy of Business website, www.accessjoyofbusiness.com.
Live with medium Lisa Phoenix, mediumship messages and musings, explores mediumship and all things metaphysical. Lisa Phoenix invites you to reach above and beyond your everyday experiences, to explore new dimensions in the spirit world. She will do live readings to connect callers to their loved ones in spirit, shares engaging stories and teachings from her own personal experience, and will have intriguing conversations with other mediums, spiritual teachers, and healers to help you understand the metaphysical world so you can connect to these forces in your day-to-day life. Join your host on this magical and metaphysical journey into the world of spirit every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
Hi, this is Angela Levesque, host of Entanglement Radio. Join me Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern for inspiring conversations with visionaries in spiritual science and conscious healing. Entanglement Radio, Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. Transcendent talk for the conscious mind.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Well, Marilee, are you still with me? We had a little fun there being disconnected again. Marilee. Okay. Um, I'm having a little trouble again here with the internet, and I'm going to be trying to, find Marilee again with us. And I don't know what it is with, with the connections here today, and it probably has something to do with my server, unfortunately. But anyway, I know we're on, and as I'm talking to you, about the uh, talking to you about the essential oils. Well, Marilee, let's see. Well,
Hello?
Marilee, do I have you again?
Yes, you do.
I'm hoping that I have the OMTimes radio with us. I got one back. We're having fun today, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's usually not this bad. Well, actually, I'm going to tell you, the month of April has to do with the internet servers. Probably Comcast, which is my internet server, is having some kind of freakouts. But okay, so I think we're all connected here. So shall we continue? We're talking
Yes.
about therapeutic grade while I still have you.
Yeah. So it was, and then they used Dr. Jean Valnet, who was a medical doctor in Paris, and during World War II, they had no more medicines, so they were using essential oils and found out they were working better than the medicines, which is kind of neat, especially in Indochina.
Right.
So when someone is using over-the-counter oils and they think theirs is okay, ask them if they have been stamped with the AFNOR standards certification. Dr. Casabianchi, a government-certified botanical chemist who recognized that the primary constituents within an essential oil had to occur in certain percentages in order for an oil to be considered therapeutic. He combined his studies with research conducted by other scientists and doctors, including the Central Service Analysis Laboratory certified by the French government, or essential oils analysis, and they realized that there needed to be a standard set up. So AFNOR/ISO standards was set up to identify therapeutic grade oils. ISO is the International Standards Organization, and they are the ones that certify manufacturing facilities, that the quality control is, the standards are very stringent and differentiate good manufacturing from not so good, and they differentiate therapeutic grade essential oils from similar oils or of inferior chemistry. So it's about the chemistry of the oils. An AFNOR standard for lavender, which is Lavandula augustifolia, dictates that the level of linalool should range from 25 to 38%, and the level of linoleic acetate should range from 25% to 34%. As long as the oil's marker compounds are within the specified ranges, it can be recognized as therapeutic grade. And let's go back to Egypt in ancient times. They didn't have anything but organics. They didn't have synthetic fertilizers. They didn't use petrochemicals to dilute anything or to have a light in a lantern. They used vegetable oils and essential oils like frankincense are actually quite flammable. So the general rule is that if it's not therapeutic grade AFNOR standard, then you really need to be careful, because the FDA in the United States, and for those of you living in other parts of the country, just check the labels, because it needs to really meet the standards from the seed all the way to the manufacturing of the oil into the bottles, so seed to seal. And when oils are diluted with synthetics of any kind, they don't have the therapeutic properties anymore because the toxins in the toxic oil actually adheres to the toxins already in our body.
Wow.
And increases the body's toxicity level, preventing its ability to heal itself, whereas medicinal oils that are recognized in Europe actually pulls the toxins out. And somebody using a therapeutic grade oil can say, oh my God, I'm allergic to it. Well, no, they're not really allergic to it. The oil is pulling the toxins out of their skin and it's turning red and they're getting a rash because of their toxicity level.
So people really aren't realizing when they're new to this, that,
right.
Their body's reaction, basically, the body's trying to heal itself, but it's showing evidence on the skin, which is the largest organ in the body. You know, it's releasing toxins, so people are
right. And you know, the marker compounds in an essential oil, it fills out the prescribed percentages. The oils don't meet the AFNOR standards and cannot be recognized as therapeutic. And a company with integrity would then send that oil to a perfumer who's only really interested in the scent and the aroma.
Right.
And if a company does not put their oils through a chemo mass spectrometer, then they're actually adding synthetic chemicals.
So there is a
but the AFNOR, there's a huge difference, and the synthetics can be detected in a chemical mass spectrometer. And
so pretty much people need
let's just go back to lavender. In lavender augustifolia, there are 187 chemical constituents. In synthetic lavender, there are only 4.
So what we're really asking people is when they start to look into essential oils, to choose wisely, to decide whether they want to use them for just the fragrance as in perfumery, or whether they're using them for holistic health. And if they do, they need to, do some research into the therapeutic direction.
Absolutely. Because the oils, I love all things vibrational, starting with a frame drum. And all the oils, the pure therapeutic grade oils, have very high frequencies. Now here are some numbers really important to our health. A human body from the neck down vibrates from 62 to 68 hertz. A healthy head is from like 68 to 72 or 75 hertz. When frequencies drop, the immune system is compromised. If the frequency drops in the human body to 58 hertz, cold and flu symptoms appear. At 55 hertz, diseases like candida take hold. At 52 hertz, Epstein-Barr. At 42 hertz, cancer. And Dr. Royal Rife discovered that every disease has a frequency, and every oil has a frequency, and that certain frequencies prevent the development of disease that others would destroy the disease. Fresh produce, vibrates up to 15 hertz. Dried herbs from 12 to 22 hertz. Fresh herbs 20 to 27 hertz. Oils.
So we're saying energetic deficits, people aware of that their bodies have energetic fields around them, and actually we're all composed of atoms which are constantly vibrating, so it's more compatible to bring in things to aid or to support our health that also have energy, and to be aware of these frequencies. It's quite a subject, really, when you really think about it.
Well, it is. And Nikola Tesla said that if you could eliminate certain outside frequencies that interfere in our bodies, we would have greater resistance toward disease. And that's exactly what medicinal, as recognized in Europe, do. The frequency of frankincense is 142 hertz. The frequency of Idaho balsam fir is 540 hertz. Rose is 320. And cancer starts at 42. There's a huge spread there.
Yeah.
And death starts at 25 hertz.
Yeah.
So you can see that no matter what oil you use, you're going to be raising yourself up to at least I've seen bar bypass.
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids. The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is. Join Elliot Jollish, the business therapist, each Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Elliot Jollish Hour, as he interviews business experts on your behalf. And you're invited to email your business questions to questions@ecjgroup.com for answers, live, on air every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Elliot Jollish Hour.
The truth is, you can't change the world if you're broke. I know, I tried. Isn't it time you turned your life's calling into a profitable, freedom-based business? I'm Michelle Barr. Join me every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern for Sacred Success.
Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Yay, we're back. I do think the internet is having its own issues today. I've never, it's not running as smoothly. It's like, I don't know what's going on with the world and the internet, but thanks for hanging here with me. In the last thing, before you give people where they can connect with you, If you were to say to somebody about essential oils that had no clue about it, how would you tell them to, get involved? Would you say, about bringing the shamanic in, about bringing, listening to your body, looking for plant medicine? What would be your idea?
Um, well, I like to talk to people one-on-one around my kitchen table, but I want to go back to the frequencies because Royal Rife discovered that each body organ has a frequency, and our bodies have a frequency, and each oil has a frequency. And the lower the frequencies we become a sponge for negative energy. And the frequency is what stays in the body to maintain a longer lasting effect of the essential oils. So it's not the chemistry of the oils raises the frequency of the body, and the body is actually able to sustain that. And so if the oils are applied or used daily, that continues. Low frequency oils make physical changes in the body. Low frequency. So if you're bombarded with negativity all the time, your body changes. Middle frequencies are emotional and bring emotional changes to the body. High high frequencies make spiritual changes. Excuse me. Spiritual change frequency range from 92 to 540 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
Our bone frequency is 38 to 43, and the neck down is 62 to 68. So the frequencies are important, and then we're back to the drum and the Akashic records, which raise our frequency and allow us access to all the information. One of the really important things about therapeutic grade medicinal AFNOR oils is they purify by removing metallic particles and toxins from the air if we diffuse them. They increase atmospheric oxygen, and they actually oxygenate our bodies and increase the ozone and negative ions in a house, which inhibits bacterial growth. They destroy odors of cigarettes and animals, and they fill the air with aromatic scents. So that's diffusing. The British system is that only 5% of an essential oil is used, and the rest is a carrier oil, and it's just for massage. And diffusing is the German system. The French system is applied neat, and the American system is applied neat, diffuse, dilute, and ingest. So we can also ingest the oils, make capsules with therapeutic grade oils to heal our internal organs, our digestive system, our colon, to help us heal any cancer. My husband told the doctors basically to go stick it because they gave him morphine and Oxycontin for his pain, for his inoperable lung cancer. And he uses essential oils, and the minute he applies the oils, his pain is gone, and it lasts longer. He's not as on board as I am, let's just say that. But he does apply them once a day, and he has had this for over 3 years with no pain meds. I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah. It's that's why, we bring out the information about the therapeutic oils and, give people some background information that this is not new stuff. This has been around for a long, long time, and it's been, it was out there years ago. I mean, hundreds of thousands of years ago. and it's making a very big resurgence now. But the whole thing about the thing is to do your research and to learn and to educate yourself on the subject, to find out what is good for you. So, really, this was a good foundational, program on this. And Marilee, I really want to thank you for hanging in with my internet gremlins here today. I don't know whether it was Comcast or what, but at least we got you back on.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Like I said, I really do appreciate that because it was getting a little upsetting there. But where can people find you?
They can find me on Facebook at Marilee Snyder-Nieciak, or they can find me on my website at Marilee, Marilee, middle initial A, Snyder, SNYDER.com. And everything I do is there. It's all about ancient wisdom for now. Drumming, essential oils, shamanic healing, Akashic records, crystals, and crystal skulls. They all work together as a whole.
Oh, that's good. And also, Marilee's information is on the Circle of Hearts programming page. And you'll be able to see all the links where you can get hold of her or to find out more about, what she can share with you. I say again, really, thank you so much for hanging in there today. It was.
Oh, you're welcome. No problem.
Okay, so I'm going to take over a little bit now in the last 5 minutes and share a channel that was shown to me, and also talk about next week a little bit. So again, thanks, Marilee, and hang in there for a little bit. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So now there's been a lot of earth changes, and people are awakening. And one of the channels I was given, I'm just going to read it. For those of you, just to end the show up with. And to all hearts who will listen, come this day to take your weary souls and fill with cleansing, sparkling light and rainbow rays of love. You have served Gaia well. Your love and light has embraced her and supported her through her trials. You have now this moment in time stepped forth into the new day. The pains and the trials of the past are no longer for you to feel. By doing this, you have not turned your back on humanity. Many still struggle through life and soul challenges in this earthly school. You're now free to extend your hand to those who seek and to reconnect with them with the heart of Source. Gaia has gone through labor pains of birthing a new world for us. All those hearts are open and now in the new mind midwives for Gaia, and who will aid her labor in giving rebirth to life where is needed. To all hearts who choose to hear these words, wherever you are, this is a new day, a new life, and a new heart's journey for you. From the source of all, radiant light, through the voice of Allayah. Now next week is Westic full moon, which is a very spiritual time, a shift of energies where they say heaven is very close to earth, and the worlds of illusion are gone. We will be having two wonderful speakers that are coming on radio, I think for the first time. Chief Golden White Elk and Grandmother Chandra. They'll be splitting this hour, and they'll be sharing some messages with you. So they're powerful voices on this episode. We have gremlins today. No, what's going to happen next week. So I thank everybody. for being with us. And in your hearts, keep your journeys going on these radio programs that we many trailblazers with wonderful information that are going to be coming to you to share so that you can listen and make your choices and to be educated by them. Not, and meaning by educating is the sharing for your awareness so that you can make your own, clear choices in life. These are absolutely crazy times. And, I think the whole thing is we all need, as a unified conscious, to come together and support each other's in understanding. And OMTimes has provided this portal of information to be sent out into the airways. So from my heart to yours, I wish you the best. Thank you until we see each other.
Thank you.